today we are on location on Frank Avenue at Ohio Audiology and Associates, and you have heard me talk about all the wonderful things they have to offer here. They're transitioning to a new name, and so we have a lot of things to discuss today. Also, you could actually stop by and visit if you want to. I walked in. I thought I was at the ballpark, actually. It was smelled like popcorn. It was wonderful. So if you want to stop by and chat, you can certainly do that. But we have a lot to get to, as I mentioned, and we're going to start off with a gentleman by the name of Jim Boyd, who is Territory Sales Manager for GN Resound, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Jim, so we know, what your role is here with these guys.
Sure, absolutely. So I am the regional manager for GN Resound. We are the manufacturer of digital hearing aids. So my territory consists of Ohio and West Virginia. So we typically work with private practice audiologists like Kelly, ENTs, and hearing instrument specialists.
Okay, so digital hearing aids, is that the only kind there are now?
No, there's a broad spectrum of hearing aids. So we'll talk about that a little bit more later in the show. But typically what we deal with are prescription aids that need to be programmed on the computer. So more detailed, intricate technology.
Okay, very good. So we're going to talk about your father's hearing journey, a good story to start off with.
Yeah, so early in my career, when I first came out to Ohio, I grew up in Philadelphia, and my father stayed there. And my dad was the kind of guy that never met a stranger. He loved people. He loved discussions. He really enjoyed going out to dinner, dancing, and conversing. And I would talk to him just about every day. And I noticed when I would call home, he was a little short with me, and he was missing bits and pieces, and he was getting angry. And that wasn't his personality. So I talked to Pat, his wife, and I said, what's going on with Dad? And she said, well, he just stopped doing things. He's just sitting at home. We went to the doctor, and they diagnosed him with depression and anxiety. And I said, let's get his hearing tested. I think he's having some issues with his hearing. So I had a friend that was an audiologist back in Philadelphia, and, they went in, and he got tested, and sure enough, she had called me and said, your dad's got a pretty significant hearing loss. He needs hearing aids. So we were able to get him what was the best technology back in the late 90s, and we fit him. And really within a week, his life changed. He was back going out to dinner. He got off his meds because he was misdiagnosed. The real issue was he had a pretty significant hearing loss. And what happens if you're an active person and you're used to going out to dinner and conversing with people, when you can't understand, you start to isolate because you're embarrassed and you're tired of asking people to repeat themselves. So it was really an eye-opening experience for me early in my career to see the effect that it had on my father. And this was just in the very beginning of digital technology. So the devices we have today are far superior, but it changed his whole life. And he was back to doing the things that, he loved to do.
And I think a lot of people sometimes believe that they're not going to be able to help me. This isn't something that I can get help for, or like you say, they're embarrassed to even ask for that kind of help.
Yeah, especially men, right?
Yeah, right.
We have a tendency to deal with it. Women, if there's a problem, they take a serious look at it. But a lot of times it's the family members that really notice it. Because they're like, Dad, you can't understand, or I can't understand the grandkids, or I don't go to a restaurant anymore because of the background noise. It's frustrating. So people shut down, and you start to develop other health issues. You isolate, depression and anxiety starts to creep in, and dementia.
And so I would imagine you probably would recommend to family members that if you're noticing things, it's just as important for you to, recommend to your loved ones, hey, maybe we should try something, right?
Yeah, I think it's important to, to get, a hearing test, every 6 months, go to a hearing healthcare professional in your area, get a baseline and follow that, just like you would a physical. And, primary care physicians and obviously ENTs, obviously they know a lot about hearing loss, but even our, primary doctors are learning, about hearing loss and the effects that it has on people's health, because if you're not getting those signals in your brain, you just start to shut down. And our brain's like any other muscle in our body. We got to keep it stimulated.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing this?
You're gonna ask me
I
this
don't mean
question.
to-
Yeah, well, since 1996.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of changes.
I was going to say, that would
through
be
the
my next
years.
question.
And the technology now is really amazing, and I think we'll talk about that more in another segment, but it's really changed quite a bit. When I started, basically hearing aids were amplifiers.
Yeah.
You turned them up and you turned them down. Now they're very sophisticated digital devices that adapt and adjust as you go from environment to environment, and they do quite a bit.
Yeah, that's the old joke. Turn up your hearing aid, you know,
Right.
kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
And many people think they're still that way, you know.
That's a great point.
Uh-huh.
They do. There's a lot of education that's involved and a lot of training. Yeah, it's important to really educate the patient. First and foremost, you know, do a thorough hearing test and exam to find out exactly what they've got going on and if they're a candidate for hearing aids, or there could be something medically that's causing the problem. So that's why it's so important to see a hearing care professional.
Yeah, because you may not be a candidate for hearing aids. That's a possibility as well, right?
Right, exactly. It,
Yeah.
it could be a number of different things. And, you know, my comment earlier about my dad, you know, his issue was hearing loss. That's not always the case. Sometimes people, you know, suffer from depression
Right.
and anxiety, and that's the root cause. But sometimes hearing loss can you know, further along those different, you know, disabilities and problems for people.
All right. Well, I know that we are going to be talking with you, and we've also have quite a few other folks that we're going to be chatting with, especially Dr. Kelly Overcasher and Dr. Megan Annis, who I talk about on the radio all the time. But, you know, what you guys are doing here at this facility is expanding, and they have so many wonderful things. And, you know, Kelly and I have a chance to chat quite frequently, and she's a great lady. It's very comfortable here. And I want people to understand that if you come on out today, you know, if you want to talk to Kelly or you want to talk to Megan, you can do that today. And also, you can get some popcorn. You can stop out there and just have a chat. Doesn't mean you have to sit down and have a hearing test. You can just come in and meet the folks. That might be the best way to get things started. And we will continue. We'll take our first break and come back and talk some more. It is one of the most important things you can do. I always talk about treating it like, you know, the dentist. You take care of your teeth. You go to the eye doctor. You should do the same thing for your hearing as well. And again, we are on Frank Avenue at Ohio Audiology and Associates. It is Healthcare Week on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Spring cleaning starts with clean water. Call Verndale Water Experts and schedule our $49 softener checkup and sanitization service. Get pure perfection with Verndale Water Experts.
Tap into Verndale's Water Center.
Have you ever gone to the pharmacy and decided not to fill a prescription because of the price? This is pharmacist Paul White. If you have skipped filling a prescription or a dose because of the price, we have great news for you. We are introducing a new membership program with wholesale pricing on every generic medication. Memberships are $5 a month. For many of our customers, our wholesale pricing is even less than their copay. Visit our website, midshoprx.com, and use our price checker to find out the price of your medication. Great deals at Medicine Center Pharmacy.
This is Larry Hackenberg. You know me through legacy WHBC programs like the Sports Time Machine and Time Machine, the Stark County Story. Now we are taking on the world of music with the Music Time Machine. Join myself and co-host Jennifer Tasson right here on News Talk 1480 WHBC every Saturday at 10 a.m. with an encore broadcast Sundays at 9:30 a.m. You can also catch up on past episodes at themusictimemachine.com.
Living at the Waterford can be life-affirming, as this reenactment of actual residents can attest.
I'm living at the Waterford. Have been for 3 years now. Wish I could have said it was for 10.
My wife and I chose the Waterford and are glad we did.
I'm not sitting around doing nothing. My life is full, far more than it ever was.
At the Waterford, there's an undercurrent of family connection. We all feel like we belong and can depend on each other.
My children are delighted. They say they're happy to see that their mother is smiling and happy once again. I'm not sitting at home just thinking about the past and wondering where did my life go. I've got a new one.
There's a sharing spirit. You sleep better at night knowing you're in that kind of atmosphere. Management is very helpful and concerned, and there's very individualized help.
When you're ready to retire, consider moving to the Waterford.
The Waterford, North Canton's premier independent senior living community. Contact Yvonne Heron at 330-966-5643 for availability.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had leaf filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per house.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up! And call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2020.
Attention talcum powder users. Have you had ovarian or gynecological cancer? A proposed $8 billion plan will pay those who believe they got sick from using talc products like Johnson's baby powder and shower to shower. Johnson & Johnson maintains its products are safe. You have until July 26, 2024 to vote to accept or reject the plan. For more information, visit officialtalclaims.com or call 888-431-4056. Paid for by LLT Management, LLC.
Breaking and trending. Here's why you should listen. Search 1480 WHBC on Facebook.
It's just good.
Find more right now on WHBC.com.
It is Healthcare Week on 1480 WHBC, and as I said, boy, what a week it's been. We've had such great conversations, and we are continuing that today. Of course we are, because we are at Ohio Audiology and Associates, and we are starting off our conversation. We had Jim Boyd on first this morning, and now we're going to be talking with Mary Sanders, patient care coordinator for Ohio Audiology Associates. And so let's, first of all, say good morning to you.
Good morning.
And glad to have you with us this morning.
Thank you.
I want to talk first about, you want to share the story, your story first? I mean, does that make sense of
Sure.
a little bit about,
Hearing loss goes back to my father.
Wow.
And that was a time that he did not have hearing aids. I learned to talk louder. I have learned recently, you don't talk louder, you talk slower. It's much easier to understand, and I appreciate that too. But I have my husband who has cochlear implants. My son-in-law and my brother-in-law both have hearing aids. And it's really important for the family to realize whether the hearing person, the person with the hearing aids, doesn't realize that if they're not wearing them, it impacts the person trying to communicate with them.
Absolutely.
And so many times they've told me, well, they aren't comfortable, and my explanation is you got to get used to them, but you need to wear them because it helps everybody in the family. My granddaughter told me recently that she and her sisters and mom were sitting in conversation with their dad, and Dad said he felt left out, and they all looked at him and said, wear your hearing aids.
Mm-hmm.
So it impacts, it not just impacts the person who wears the hearing aids, it impacts everybody because it can be so frustrating. I can remember my husband, what, can you repeat that? Tell me again.
What did they say?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it impacts both sides, both people, the people that can hear and are trying to communicate with you, as well as the person who struggles to hear what you're saying.
Right, absolutely. All right, so that's the impact that it has on, as we said, on the family, and you don't want that frustration. Nobody wants to have that. Then you're mad at each other and you're irritated, and
right.
Nobody's having any fun, I mean, and we don't want that to happen. So what kind of changes have you made that help you to communicate better with the family?
Well, I have learned, first of all, to talk slower.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually will sometimes tell my daughter, slow down.
Yeah.
The other thing is I try to look at my husband when we're having a conversation. Prior to having his cochlear implants, he did a lot reading lips. And so if he can see me when I'm talking to him, COVID was terrible because you could not see the person's lips moving. And thankfully that has, changed, but that is also an important factor in that person being able to comprehend what you're saying.
I remember as a kid, I had this automatic response of what to my mother.
Yes.
As a kid, didn't you do that always? Your mom would say, go out and clean, go clean your room. What? You always did that. But I also noticed that in a member of my family who has a hearing loss. It's even if she hears me, she still says what, and it's like an automatic response. And I feel bad because, like you say, you get frustrated, and you say, I know you heard me say that, but still they're still having trouble hearing, and it's just a continuous circle. It just keeps going round and round.
Right, and if it takes me being educated, as well as the person who's hearing impaired, that I learn to speak directly to them. A lot of times, even though my husband has cochlear implants, I call his name.
Mm-hmm.
To get his attention so he knows that I'm talking to him, especially if he's on his phone. Because I never know whether his cochlear implants come through his Bluetooth, so I never know if he's listening or just reading.
Right, okay.
So if I don't get his attention, he's not going to hear anything I say, and I'll repeat again.
Well, and when we were talking to Jim Boyd, who has a lot of experience, obviously, in all of this, but he was saying how, there are people who aren't candidates for hearing aids, and your husband, cochlear implants, that you had no idea that he was a candidate, correct?
That's correct, and it was through a conversation with Kelly Overcasher that I even learned anything about cochlear implants. He had heard of them before, but never pursued it, so thanks to Kelly's recommendation, we went and had him tested, and he did qualify.
Wow.
And the interesting thing about the cochlear implants that I learned along the way is that there are certain consonant sounds. You know, when I'm taking a phone message and someone spells their name, was that a D, a T, or a B? Because they all sound the same, and when somebody's talking very quickly, it's hard to decipher, especially if it's an unusual name, exactly what it is.
Right.
So it was very beneficial to have that conversation with Kelly. My husband's had his first implant done in 06, and the second one in 09.
Okay.
And even technology with that has changed significantly.
Yeah. And so did it solve your problem completely, or is it just a help?
I can't say that it solved it completely because of the fact, like I said, that if he's on his phone, I have to remember to get his attention, because if he's listening, since it's going Bluetooth, I don't know that he's listening because I'm not hearing it come through his phone.
Right.
And so that is something that I've had to learn, and that's because of the phone technology as well, and being able to be Bluetooth, because his first ones weren't Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So
it's funny that you said the DB thing, because I just did that. Kelly was giving our producer a password, and she said D. He said D. I said no, B. And she said no, D. And I'm like, oh gosh, I need to go in and get a hearing test, because I heard B.
Right.
And it was D.
there are so many hard consonant sounds. Those are the ones I think that are the hardest to decipher when you're having that, trying to write down somebody's email address or spell their last name or whatever, those hard consonant sounds. And the other thing I learned, and this was partially through Kelly's explanation and through the experience with the cochlear implant, is that the brain needs time to translate what the ear is hearing.
Okay.
And if we talk slower, the brain has more time to catch up and recognize the conversation. I have a sister-in-law that got a cochlear implant and complained she didn't like it. We found out 3 years later, she lives out of state, and 3 years later we found out she wasn't mapped correctly, which makes a big difference. But she also wouldn't do audiology therapy, and her hearing loss was more profound than my husband's. And conversations with Kelly, we talked about the fact that, your refrigerator runs. You don't hear it because mentally you've learned to tune that sound out.
Right.
And so there are sounds that you have to learn how to educate your brain to hear, as well as those you have to educate your brain to disregard.
Yeah. So as patient care coordinator, tell me what you do in that position.
Well, I'm relatively new to that position.
Okay.
As I indicated, Kelly is a neighbor of ours, and I came in starting to help her convert some of her patient files, get them computerized, and am gradually working into that. I'm taking appointments, learning how much time she needs for the various types of appointments that she needs to schedule, and interacting with patients, via on the phone, whether I'm calling them to invite them to an event that's happening or just answering any questions that they may have. Megan has educated me on, if someone calls in with a particular problem, that here's what might be their problem, have them try this. And so I wrote myself some notes on what those things involve. And it's a learning curve, but I'm really enjoying it.
Well, and I think you've had your own experiences, so that probably helps as well. When you can talk to people and share that with them.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
exactly.
great. All right. Well, I'm glad you had a chance to sit down with us this
Thank you.
morning and share all of that with us, too.
It was a lot.
All right. We're going to take our break for the news. And when we come back, we are going to chat with Megan Annis, Dr. Megan Annis, and talk a little bit about over-the-counter hearing aids, who they're for, anyone. We'll tell you. All of that and more here as Health Week continues on 1480 WHBC.
Spring cleaning starts with clean water. Call Verndale Water Experts and schedule their $49 software checkup and sanitation service. Get pure perfection with Verndale Water Experts.
Tap into Verndale's Water Center.
WHBC AM 10, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC Newsroom, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources urging Ohioans and visitors to the Buckeye State to be safe when boating. They urge the use of life jackets, but this year's different with recreational marijuana now being legal in Ohio. The department reminds us it's still illegal to operate a boat under the influence. It includes both alcohol and marijuana. It also is illegal for passengers to smoke or vape pot while on board. The debate stage next week will only have 2 candidates on it. Independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. failed to qualify. He only reached 15% in 3 national polls by the deadline. The requirement was 4. Also fell short of the requirement that candidates be on the ballot in enough states to be able to win 270 electoral votes. In a statement yesterday, he said, quote, "My exclusion by Presidents Biden and Trump from this debate is undemocratic, un-American, and cowardly." No more poofy packaging. Amazon is in the process of doing away with those plastic air pillows that it's used in the past as packing material that would keep products from shifting during shipping. They're now going to use recycled paper instead. The company says the paper packaging is more environmentally friendly, and actually it even works better as a packing material. Guardians got the win over Seattle yesterday, 6-3. They'll play the Blue Jays tonight, 7:10, first pitch here on WHBC. Tonight, it's Game 6 of the NHL Finals. Series is back in Edmonton, where the Oilers must win in order to force a Game 7 back in Florida. Going into the game, the Panthers are the favorite to put the series to bed. Puck drops at 8 o'clock. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. A heat advisory through Saturday. Partly sunny, hot this afternoon. Thunderstorm. Could get some wind and hail today. The high 91. Thunderstorm early this evening. Otherwise clearing tonight. Low 71. Sunny, hot, and humid tomorrow. The high at 92. Clouds and sun. Breezy, humid, a gusty thunderstorm on Sunday. High Sunday at 81. Get your weather news anytime you want it at AccuWeather.com. I'm Steve Williams for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Breaking and trending. Here's why you should listen. Search 1480 WHBC on Facebook.
It's just good.
Find more right now on WHBC.com.
We are back, and I'll tell you, we have a nervous girl here, and we're not going to let that happen. Just pretend you're at the dentist. Would that make you nervous?
I don't like the dentist.
Exactly.
Though.
So this is going to feel much better.
That's true.
All right, we are back, and it is, again, Healthcare Week, and we have been having some wonderful conversations, I have been telling you, and we are at Ohio Audiology Associates, and you've heard me talk about them so much, and I always mention Dr. Kelly Overcasher and Dr. Megan Annis. And I have Dr. Megan Annis here with me today. I am so glad to see you in person finally.
Yes, it's finally nice to meet you in person.
I'm going
to
to have you move close to the mic so we can hear you.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're going to talk with you about over-the-counter hearing aids and who they're for. And honestly, when I read that, I thought, in my mind, they're for no one. You shouldn't get an over-the-counter hearing aid. But that's not necessarily true, is it?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So over-the-counter hearing aids, as I'm sure you've heard, the FDA approved them on October 17th of 2022. Basically, they are amplifiers that you can buy over-the-counter without a prescription and without seeing a hearing care professional.
Okay.
It's for people with perceived mild to moderate hearing loss. So you don't have to have a hearing test to buy them. Whereas prescription hearing aids that we work with, they are prescriptive. We do a hearing test. They are programmed based on your hearing test results.
Okay. So why, I mean, I guess they have a bad connotation to them for some people. You tell us the difference, but who would benefit from one that is over the counter?
Yes, so basically I think it's a good stepping stone to get to prescription hearing aids. A lot of people are afraid of the cost and they don't like going to doctors, so it's a stepping stone. I kind of compare them to over-the-counter glasses that you can just buy.
Oh, like the readers.
The cheaters, yes. Mm-hmm. So they try them, they find, oh, these aren't quite right, I need to go see the professional. So to me, it's kind of a stepping stone to getting into our office. on average, it takes somebody about 7 years to do something about their hearing loss. So I think it's a good stepping stone to get to the professional.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That really does make a lot of sense. Is there anyone who should not consider getting them?
Yes, absolutely. So anyone under the age of 18 should not get them. They are not supposed to get those devices. And anyone who's got kind of red flag symptoms, meaning if they have hearing loss in one ear, if they have tinnitus, which is ringing or buzzing in one ear, pain in their ear, pressure in their ear, bleeding from their ear, sudden hearing loss that's fluctuating, all those are considered red flag symptoms where you really should see a professional to get medically evaluated because there might be something else going on causing the hearing loss. And they are also not for people who have profound hearing loss. They are marketed for mild to moderate. So if you have profound hearing loss, they are not going to do you a whole lot of good. And if you have normal hearing, I would not recommend them because they may cause further hearing loss because they are programmed for mild to moderate losses.
What do they sound like? I mean, what do they, when people put them in their ears, what do they sound like?
I mean, I've never actually listened to one, but from what I have been told by patients who have come in with them, they say that it just amplifies everything and they're too loud. They don't like how they sound because prescription ones are programmed for them.
Right. So that would be, even the bad sounds, or not the bad sounds, but, if you're standing outside, you're going to hear the traffic really loud too,
yes,
correct?
Yes, every little thing, because everything's being amplified all the same, and most people do not hear the same.
And I've never seen them either, or tried anything like that. But I would imagine. I mean, do they look small, or they look like the old-fashioned ones, or what?
From what I have seen, they are big. Like I've seen people out just because, we work with hearing aids. We'll go out to lunch. I look and see what people are wearing. The ones that are huge, you can just tell are over the counter. Mm-hmm. They are not discreet. They're ugly in my opinion. Like they're just big and bulky, and I don't know why anybody would want one.
Right. But and I guess, if that's what you think you can afford and that's what you're going to try.
Right.
Then, and when you said it's not, it's only something they're trying because it's a stepping stone, but they're so far different from what you're really going to get, right?
They are very different, but again, I think it's a good step in the right direction because they're trying something. Mm-hmm. They're noticing they're having difficulty, so they're trying something, but they learn pretty quickly that, oh, this is not great. I think I need something better.
Right. What would you say are the major differences? The size, probably, right?
The size, the packaging, the boxes, a lot of them that I have seen, they actually have a lot of things misspelled. I had a colleague from my previous job send me a picture of over-the-counter hearing aids that one of her patients brought in, and hearing aid was spelled wrong on the box. So it's like you're buying a hearing aid and they can't even spell hearing aid right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Oh my gosh. Well, people, that's something to consider. And if you have one of those kinds right now, this is a good opportunity for you to come and visit Dr. Kelly. Megan. Dr. Megan Annis.
Or Dr. Kelly.
And Dr. Kelly. And you can just come by and say, okay, this is what I have. It's not really what I want. And we were talking earlier, too. You can stop by and say hi today. You don't have to, sit down and have a hearing test or do anything like that. You can just come in and have a conversation if you want to, and just ask questions. They'd be more than happy to, have a chat with you. Tell folks about you because, I always have a chance to talk about you guys on the air, but I'd really like them to hear it from you, your background and how you came to be with Kelly.
Sure. So I was actually born in Georgia, Albany, Georgia, and then 8 months later, my parents moved to Quakertown, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour north of Philadelphia. So I'm from the East Coast. We moved to Jackson Township, Ohio after I graduated high school in 2011. So I lived in Pennsylvania for 18 years. It never felt like home. Ohio feels like home, so I'm very happy to be here. I did my undergrad at Kent State University, and then I did my doctorate at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So I kind of switched things up a little bit. Yeah. I needed a little bit of change. And so what brought me to Kelly is I was actually working for a place in Youngstown. That was my first job. And then COVID hit.
Oh.
So we were closed down, didn't really know what was going on. And I saw that Kelly had put an ad for an audiology assistant. And I said, well, I want to come back to this area. I don't know if I still have a job. So I emailed her on a whim. I said, hey, I'm an audiologist. I'll be an assistant if you want. I'm just looking for something. She emailed me back, came in for the interview. The interview ended up being an all-day thing. We just hit it off. I just shadowed her. We kind of went to lunch. It was an all-day thing. We clicked, and she hired me. So it worked out.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
awesome. See
Yeah.
there? Those conversations that always say, and COVID hit.
Yes.
You know, we're going to hear those for a long time, I'm sure. But
Yes.
it all works out, and that's a wonderful thing.
It does. I don't wish that COVID happened, but it kind of
Right.
worked out for me.
And you know what drew you to this profession? I mean, what made you want to do it?
So it's kind of funny because when I was younger, my mom would tell me that I loved looking in people's ears. I don't remember this, but when I was young, I guess I would do that. I'd pull on my brother's ear and go, Mom, he's got carrots in his ears. They need cleaned. And I guess like on the bus, I would look in people's ears and I would come home and tell her which kids had dirty ears. So I guess I was meant to do this.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah.
funny. Well, hey, you did the right thing, and now you're in the right career path, and
And I can clean your dirty ears.
yes, you can. Does your brother come to you to get his ears cleaned?
No, he
No,
doesn't.
yeah.
He doesn't tend to build up wax anymore. He just must have when he was younger.
All right. Well, that was, you and Kelly have a wonderful place going on here. And I think that, folks are interested. They want to find out more. They should certainly visit you and at least come in and ask questions. I always talk to Kelly about the fact that people, they do their eye checkups and dentists and all that stuff. I say it over and over again. People hear me say it all the time, and they don't do that with their ears.
I don't know
hearing.
why.
I
You
don't know
think
why
it
either.
should be a yearly thing just like eyes and teeth, but for some reason hearing gets left out.
Yeah, and honestly, think about it. If you couldn't hear, you'd be pretty darn upset, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
People tend to isolate. They get depressed because they're not keeping up with conversations. Hearing's important.
it
It keeps you
is.
connected to people.
And it affects you and your family, so
Yes.
it's not just a singular thing. So.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, we will be talking to you again in the next hour, so we'll come back and talk with Megan some more. We're going to take our break right now, and we'll be back. We are broadcasting live, Ohio Audiology Associates in North Canton. It is our Healthcare Week on 1480 WHBC.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit NoTimeToWait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had leaf filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per house.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
2024 has brought some exciting news to Ascent Audiology in North Canton and Hartville.
A new name, a new year. We're transitioning to Ohio Audiology Associates, where we can offer more services such as cochlear implant testing and servicing with the same great staff and locations. This is Dr. Kelly Overcasher inviting you to call us at 330-494-8348.
July 27th is National HIV Testing Day. In honor of this, Canton City Public Health is hosting a National HIV Testing event on June 26th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Knowing your HIV status gives you the power to take control of your health, and the only way to know your status is to get tested. Stop by Canton City Public Health at 420 Market Avenue North. There's no appointment needed, and everyone is welcome. Testing is free, easy, fast, and confidential. Take control of your health. Take the test on June 26th at Canton City Public Health.
Crown keeps you warm and we keep you cool.
We're here for you day or night.
As the summer heat kicks into high gear, nothing is more essential than a reliable air conditioning system to keep your home cool and comfortable. At Crown Heating and Cooling, they understand that a reliable air conditioner is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. Stay cool, save money, and enjoy peace of mind day in, day out. When it comes to your comfort, Crown is here to ensure you have the very best. If you have an older and efficient air conditioner or you don't have one at all, now is a perfect time to call Crown and find out just how affordable a new Carrier system can be. You can trust Carrier, the company that invented air conditioning. Enjoy increased comfort and energy savings all year round. Or if your current air conditioner needs a tune-up to ensure peak performance, Crown Heating and Cooling will help with that too. With Crown, estimates are always free. Call today and let Crown show you how much you can save when you turn to the Carrier experts at Crown. Call 330-499-4988 or on the web at crowngroupohio.com. Ohio license number 27133.
Call Crown Heating and Cooling. You'll be sure you have the best Crown.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give My Lowe's Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not a My Lowe's Rewards member? Join for free today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
When you use the AccuWeather app, you'll see one thing you don't see in any other weather app. AccuWeather's exclusive Real Feel temperature. Real Feel sun and Real Feel shade temperatures combine more than a dozen factors to provide an accurate measure of how weather conditions really feel to an appropriately dressed person. Only the AccuWeather Real Feel Temperatures Index includes sunshine, rain, and all factors that affect how air feels. Download the AccuWeather app in the App Store, Google Play, or at AccuWeather.com to feel the impact of Real Feel today.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for health care can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
This is the story of a very special woman. Just a few knew about her superpowers. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
1480 WHBC has always been there for you.
We here at 1480 WHBC continue that work.
On your home of local news.
This is Mike Frazier, Senior Pastor at Canton Baptist Temple. I would like to personally invite you to worship with us at 10:15 this Sunday morning in our worship center located at 515 Whipple Avenue in Canton, Ohio. If you cannot be with us in person, please tune in to our broadcast right here on WHBC at 8:30 on Sunday mornings. For more information about our ministries, you can visit us at cantonbaptist.org. We look forward to meeting you soon.
Breaking and trending. Here's why you should listen. Search 1480 WHBC on Facebook.
It's just good.
Find more right now on WHBC.com.
This lady, Dr. Kelly Overcasher, you hear me talk about her all the time. She's the owner of Ohio Audiology Associates. And good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm
Here,
great.
let's get closer there so we can hear you.
Good morning. I'm so great.
Yes.
This is exciting.
It is exciting. And I was telling folks if they want to stop by and say hi, they can do that.
Absolutely.
Right off of, we're on Frank Avenue. It's just past the Walgreens. And right when you get past, what's on the other side of us past the Walgreens?
There's an architectural firm.
Yeah, yes, and in the next street, you make a right, and you're to the right.
Correct.
Right into the next. It's very easy to find. Stop by and say hi and have some popcorn. And there's all kinds of stuff out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice. Very welcoming today. So we talked to Dr. Megan Annis, which I mention her all the time as well. But, you know, this is your business. You have transitioned. It's been a transition year for you.
Yes, it has been.
New name. Yep. And I was asking you off the air how it was going, and you're like, "Yep, I'm finally there. You know, getting there." And it's been a process for you, hasn't it?
It has. It has. We've same people, same place. Everything's the same. Just a new name. To reflect some of the changes that we've made to grow and offer more services and be more medically oriented type of practice. So yeah, we're pretty much there now.
Yeah, you're not a hearing aid salesman.
No.
And that's one thing that we want people to absolutely know for sure.
Exactly.
All right, so we're going to talk about Medicare and Medicaid. And the Medicare Advantage plans, Medicare and Medicare Advantage plans. How does all that work? Because I know people wonder about, getting their ears and hearing taken care of. How does that all work?
Well, most people, of course, when they go on to Medicare, they have Medicare as their primary, and then they can decide whether they want to purchase a supplement to straight Medicare or if they want to transition into a Medicare Advantage plan. And that Advantage plan kind of takes Medicare out of the picture, and they handle everything for you. So, but under the Medicare rules, patients are allowed one test every rolling 12 months if they feel that they have a decrease in their hearing or they're having some problems. So if someone comes in, has either Medicare and a supplement or Medicare and Advantage plan, we can bill for that service and give them a full audiological evaluation as opposed to just a quick evaluation to fit hearing aids.
Okay. And that's, I know people always consider getting hearing aids. Medicare cover hearing aids?
Medicare does not cover hearing aids at this point. Now, there is something before Congress that they are looking at that, pushing for that. The industry and our professional groups are, of course, weighing in and providing guidance and things like that. So at some point, Medicare will probably cover some type of hearing instrument. We just don't know where that's going to go or when it's going to happen. Most of the Medicare Advantage plans do market that they have some coverage for hearing aids, but most people need to understand that it's a discounted plan. It is not like a full service, everything included type thing. It's the hearing aids are purchased by the patient at a discounted price, and then the services are kind of limited.
on what they get.
Right. And I think that sometimes can be confusing to people. They should be covered. They should be covered.
I fully agree that hearing is I feel the most important sense that we have, because hearing disconnects us from people.
Yeah.
Vision, you can disconnect from the environment, but if you have your hearing, you're still connected to family and friends and all that emotional, social stuff. But hearing disconnects you from your people, your family, that type of environment. And that really does affect people emotionally and psychologically and medically.
Yeah, and it can cause depression. We heard from Jim earlier. That's something that can happen to a lot of people. It can cause other health issues. So, yeah, I'm on that train. I just think that's something that we should really push for. Now, Medicare, and I said Medicaid earlier. I didn't mean to say that, but just so people aren't going, well, what about? Medicare and the hearing tests. You said they can get a hearing test?
Absolutely.
Okay. And that's a good thing, too. People
Absolutely.
We talked about people doing that based on just like they would if they go and get their eyes taken care of or go to the dentist once a year for wellness check or whatever.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, the test that we perform is what we refer to, and it's just the billing code is a 92557 test. And what that is it's a multitude of little small tests that give us the big picture of what the hearing ability of that patient is. It is not just an air where you're hearing through your ears only, getting the thresholds, and then fitting the hearing aids based off of those thresholds alone. We do a lot more testing that gives us whether there's any medically oriented problems going on. We test with words and speech. How is the person's understanding? We also will do a test that tells us how the patient's brain functions when we get into noisy situations. Mm-hmm. Because we don't live in isolation alone. We live in restaurants and people talking to us when the TV's on or clanging of dishes in the kitchen. That's our life.
Right.
And we need to fit hearing aids based off of that patient's life and what they're getting into and doing. So, there's a lot more to it than just pop in, get a test, and pick out hearing aids, and then pop back out again.
Right. It's way more involved than that. So, Dr. Kelly Overcasher is the owner of Ohio Audiology Associates, and talk about how you got into this business. We just have a few minutes before we have to take our break, but I think it's a great story. This is very important to you. You want to be here, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, it started way back. I have two children that were diagnosed with dyslexia. So I had originally been going to school for biomedical engineering. And once my children were diagnosed with that, I made a complete turnaround because of understanding what was going on with them, advocating for them in schools, being prepared to help them in their life. So I graduated with my speech language pathology and audiology degree from the University of Akron, and then found out that there isn't much you can do with that degree. You have to have an advanced degree to be able to practice. And audiology was so much more fit for my personality because I want to come in, I want to fix people as fast as I can and get them going again. And so audiology really was more of a passion for me. Mm-hmm. And so I knew I wanted to always own my own business and have that flexibility to be able to give the good care and take time and get to know people. Mm-hmm. And so that's how all of this developed. And I guess I came back full circle because I'm working with medical devices.
Yeah, see there? Here you are.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, we're going to take our break for the 11 o'clock news, and of course we will have more during the 11 o'clock hour as we have our final day of the 2024 Healthcare Week. And again, we are broadcasting live. Frank Avenue, it's Ohio Audiology Associates, right here on 1480 WHBC.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
WHBC AM Canton, trusted, reliable, and part of the community. Brought to you by Friends and Family Credit Union, providing financial needs to all of Stark County. It's time to bring a friend into the family on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
A few road issues over the weekend. That story and more in seconds. Good morning. I'm Pam Cook on 1480 WHBC. It'll be hot today again. Sun and clouds mixed, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon, a high of 91. We have that heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. A thunderstorm in spots early this evening, then clear skies, low 71. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, hot, and humid, and again, a high around 92. Well, heading north on Route 21 from western Stark County becomes a little tricky this weekend. 21 under I-77 will be closed from early Saturday morning to early Monday morning for bridge work. The detour uses the Ridgewood Road exit to get to 77. Also, if you must travel from the Canton area up to Akron Sunday night, Monday morning, there will be rolling roadblocks on I-77 North between Arlington Road and 224. The hint that something was up may have been all the Ensure a young couple was buying and loading into vans. 27-year-old Soud and 25-year-old Asma Kanan of Sharon, Pennsylvania, are in Alliance Municipal Court this afternoon, both of them charged with felony theft for stealing $1,600 worth of the nutrition supplement from the Meijer and Mark stores in Alliance last week. Police say they used fraudulent coupons to purchase some of the Ensure at Meijer. He skipped out on scanning some of the items at the self-service checkout. They were arrested Wednesday back in the Mark's parking lot. No relief from the heat. That heat advisory day number 5, with AccuWeather calling for the real field temperature today to reach 101. All of Ohio is again under that advisory, and it's an excessive heat warning again in the Pittsburgh area. High yesterday at CAK's weather station was 91. Any company with a lot of employees working outside all day is advised by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration to have a heat program for workers. It should include water breaks and a shady area for them to go to. And for those employers who are obviously flaunting worker safety, there's whistleblower protection in the OSHA Act.
Those employees have the right to bring these hazards up to their employers, so we will take action if violations of that provision are found.
Larry Johnson with OSHA here in Ohio says they're visiting workplaces and work sites across the state today. President Joe Biden leads former President Donald Trump by 2 points in the latest Fox News poll, and his immigration numbers are doing better. All of this ahead of the first presidential debate next Thursday night. Independent candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. failed to qualify to participate in that debate. For News Talk 1480 WHBC, I'm Pam Cook.
Now, your local weather forecast. Stick with us. News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. A heat advisory still in effect through Saturday night. Partly sunny, hot, thunderstorm for the afternoon. Could get some gusty winds and hail. The high today, 91. Thunderstorm early this evening. Then some clearing tonight. It'll be warm and humid, low 71. Sunny, hot, and humid tomorrow. The high at 92. Clouds and breaks of sun. A gusty thunderstorm on Sunday. The high Sunday afternoon, 81. For weather anytime, check out AccuWeather.com and download the free app. I'm Steve Williams for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The views expressed during the following program do not necessarily reflect the views of WHBC or Alpha Media Company.
BC Pam Cook with you this morning. Our 2024 Healthcare Week has been so wonderful so far, and we are continuing with that today. Of course, we are broadcasting from Frank Avenue, our location for Ohio Audiology Associates. And you've heard me talk about them so much on Canton's Morning News, and it's great to be here in person today. And I've had a chance to talk to Dr. Kelly Overcasher, and with us right now, again, is Dr. Megan Annis, Doctor of Audiology, and which I think is very important because there's some places you go and it's, just a hearing aid salesperson, correct?
Yes, and I mean not to talk bad about them because I know a lot of them that are dispensers, fitters. They're great people. They know what they're doing, but they don't have the education that we do. We went to school for 8 years to get our doctorates. Mm-hmm. They just do a training program on how to sell hearing aids.
Right.
So they're not medical like we are.
Right, and that's important. I think it's very, very important. So we're going to talk right now about good practice standards and FDA requirements for care, because that's another really important thing.
Mm-hmm. So basically, there are guidelines or principles we have to follow in order to provide good care. Part of that, like the medical field, doctors take oaths, we take oaths. We're going to do what's best for our patients that they're recommending we do. We don't go outside of our scope of practice. We follow a code of ethics. We do continuing education where we do training courses to keep up with all things audiology, any changes there might be. We're members of audiology organizations that keep us informed on any insurance changes or things like that in the field of audiology.
Okay, so that's just a standard practice then?
Yes.
That you guys do. Okay. And what about requirements? Are there things that you have to do?
Yes, like for our license and everything, we have to renew it every year. Those continuing education courses are required. I believe the state of Ohio, you have to do 20 hours. I'm certified through ASHA, which is the American Speech and Hearing Association. They require that I do 30 hours within a 2-year time frame, so we're constantly doing those because that's required, and it's best for our patients as well.
Right. Do you see a lot of changes over the over the time?
Mainly some with insurance, but a lot of it is just hearing aid technology that improves. Even when I graduated in 2019, it's amazing how much the hearing aids have changed and improved.
Yeah. And I would imagine that's part of all of those things.
Yes.
And so what are good practice standards?
So we follow it. Basically, you want to, we take a patient-centered approach. So the patient we want to look at as a whole. We don't just look at their hearing. We look at their overall health and well-being. Are they active? Do they have other medical conditions? Because there are a lot of medical conditions that can coincide with hearing loss, such as diabetes. Diabetics are twice as likely to have hearing loss than the general population. Hearing loss is a side effect of chemotherapy. Chemotherapy agents are ototoxic to the ears, so we like to monitor that if somebody says that they have cancer and are undergoing chemo, things like that. So we get the full picture. A lot of patients complain that our paperwork is very extensive, but it's in their best interest, and it gives us that full picture of how to treat them.
So when they're filling out this paperwork, I mean, you're probably asking them a complete medical history, I would imagine, right?
Exactly. Hearing related and otherwise related.
Okay.
And then we also do a hearing handicap inventory questionnaire where it gives us an idea of how they perceive their hearing loss. So if someone has they score significant, we know their hearing loss is negatively impacting their life. If someone scores normal, then maybe it's not as bothersome for them. So it gives us an idea, and we do that pre-hearing aids and post-hearing aids because we want to see that handicap go down.
Do you ever have somebody that maybe has a relatively significant and they think they don't?
Yes, we see that quite a bit, actually.
I would imagine.
Or vice versa. If someone has normal hearing, but they score a significant handicap. Mm-hmm. So we see that too.
Okay. All right. And how do you apply the standards to your practice?
So just providing them with the best care. We do the full eval that the Ohio License Board recommends. We do everything they say we should do. We also do speech and noise testing, which a lot of other practices don't do. It gives us an idea of how they perform in noise. So we then take that whole complete picture, and that kind of gives us an idea of what to recommend for patients. Now, of course, we know budget comes into play, things like that, so we make the recommendation, but we give them all the information they need to make the best informed decision for themselves for how to proceed with treatment.
Basically, with the options?
Yes. Options? We go through all the options, and of course, like, I might recommend something, but they don't think they need that. That's fine. Mm-hmm. That's fine. I at least gave them the information they need to make that best informed decision for themselves.
Right. And when they come in to go through the testing and all that kind of stuff, how long does that usually take for them?
We schedule about an hour and a half. Now, depending on the person, it could take less time, but we want to make sure we're not rushing. We want them to feel comfortable, because a lot of people these days come in and say, I don't like doctors, I'm just not comfortable. So we want to make sure they're comfortable with us and that they're not rushed, because a lot of other doctors will rush through appointments. I have doctors that I go to, and they see you for 15 minutes, and then they're done.
Goodbye. Yeah, yes. They're moving on to the next person. Mm-hmm. Right. And I would imagine there's a lot of delicate things that you do in your testing and that kind of stuff. So you would have to take your time, obviously.
Yes, like if we know somebody has dementia, they're going to need a little bit more time testing. So we'll give them more time. We explain things more slowly. We want to make sure they're comfortable and we're getting accurate results.
And so when someone calls in, say they want to make an appointment or they go to your website to make an appointment, that kind of thing, should they share things like that when they're making the appointment?
We recommend it. We try to get as much information as we can, but then it's also on that paperwork that they get, so they can make notes like, yes, I've been diagnosed with dementia, or I'm undergoing cancer treatments, things like that. They can note that on the paperwork as well.
Okay, and I will say the website is ascentoh.com.
Yes.
It is still the former name, ascentoh.com. But if you type in Ohio Audiology Associates, it'll take you to the website.
It does, yes.
So you can go there. It's a great website. There's a lot of good information, and you can even book an appointment. You guys have an office in Hartville as well, correct?
We do, yes.
Yeah. So there's this office here that we're at today on Frank Avenue in North Canton, and also one in Hartville. So it's been great talking to you, Megan. I'm so glad I had a chance to do that today.
Yeah, it's been great. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I'm so glad we could be here. All right, we'll take our break, and when we come back, we're going to bring back Mary Sanders. She's the brand new patient care coordinator for Ohio Audiology Associates, and we're going to talk more about family impact and cochlear implants and hearing loss and how hearing aids can improve your life. They can. Believe that. And we will do that as Health Week continues right here on 1480 WHBC.
This is Mike Frazier, Senior Pastor at Canton Baptist Temple. I would like to personally invite you to worship with us at 10:15 this Sunday morning in our worship center located at 515 Whipple Avenue in Canton, Ohio. If you cannot be with us in person, please tune in to our broadcast right here on WHBC at 8:30 on Sunday mornings. For more information about our ministries, you can visit us at cantonbaptist.org. We look forward to meeting you soon.
Your doctor writes you a prescription and you head to the box store pharmacy to get it filled, only to find out it will be hours or maybe even a day before they can fill it. That is not how we do it at Fulton Drugs and Medicap Pharmacy. In most cases, you will get your prescription right away. We value our customers, so we provide fast, friendly customer service. We also offer free delivery and fair prices on prescriptions. We are your neighbors. Medicap Pharmacy in Massillon and Fulton Drugs in Canton, where you won't wait long for your prescriptions.
Ready to fetch amazing summer savings at Bell Stores? Treat yourself to a refreshing splash fountain beverage and save at the pump. Buy any size fountain drink and earn 3 cents off per gallon with Bell Buddy rewards. You'll be wagging your tail all summer long. Bell Stores, Ohio owned and keeping your family on full.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had leaf filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per offer.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MOTOR for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MOTOR for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code MOTOR.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WHBC has always been there for you.
Thank you for being a voice of calm and correct information in a world of chaos and misinformation.
News Talk 1480 WHBC.
WHBC's Health Week. And it is a pleasure to be here today as we are talking with the folks at Ohio Audiology Associates. And we're bringing back Mary Sanders this hour because we're going to talk about a couple of different things. But Mary, last time, we were talking about how someone who has a hearing loss affects family.
Absolutely.
Not just themselves. We do know that. Cochlear implants, we're going to touch on that a little bit again. But the first thing I'm going to start with is, you said to me when you sat down, I wear hearing aids. And I said, what? I didn't even notice it the first time you were here.
Yeah. Because of my husband's hearing issues, I was maybe more cognizant of things that were happening to me. Found myself more and more saying, what? Can you turn up the TV a little more? And it made me realize that it's time for me to get my hearing tested. And so the obvious choice was to come to Dr. Overcasher, and Kelly tested me initially. At that point, we didn't feel that my hearing loss was significant enough that I needed to get aids at that point, but we've followed up routinely, and as a result, I now wear hearing aids, and I'm very happy with them. I still have issues with DBT issues where those sounds all sound the same. But the one thing that's really important is that, there's mornings I get up, I'm not going to work. I realize that, it's 1 o'clock and I haven't put my hearing aids in. I need to go do that because there are so many things that I might miss by not wearing them. And so I'm trying to be cognizant and wear them every day, even when I'm not working.
Yeah. Just to make it a habit.
Right, absolutely.
And keep it going that way. All right, so let's talk about, your husband, we discussed, has cochlear implants, correct?
Correct, yes.
And he was not a candidate for hearing aids.
Well, he actually had hearing aids early on, and through conversations with Dr. Overcasher, as I indicated, we're neighbors, so we see each other frequently, and she knew that he was having difficulty even with his hearing aids, and she encouraged us to get him tested. He was reluctant, but when he finally did it, he agreed to go ahead and have the surgery. His first surgery was in 2006. Went in the morning, went home that night. Go back a little bit later to have the processor turned on, and he was ready for them to increase the volume right away. Not everybody can do that, but his hearing now, he says, he can hear music the way he remembers hearing it in the 60s.
Wow.
Which is excellent as far as I'm concerned. He then had his second surgery done in 2009. Technology has changed. He's had an upgrade since then, and he's going to be eligible again this year. Medicare allows every 5 years, I believe, an upgrade, but he'll be eligible for that this year. The one thing that he has told so many people about is that he happened to be in the office when a young child had their hearing aid, their cochlear implant turned on for the first time. And he said, if you could have seen the smile on that child's face, it just was awesome. So cochlear implants are not just for adults. They are very beneficial for young children. And I'm seeing more and more people on television, wearing them, and not being afraid to hide, or not afraid to hide the processor, because it is a magnet, and it attaches to the skull. One of the benefits that we have acquired through Kelly also is that the audiologist who used to do his mapping, professionally they call it mapping, to the common person I would say programming.
Okay.
But the person who did his mapping has retired, and Kelly is now a cochlear representative and is now going to be able to continue with his remapping as needed. And if he gets the new devices, she'll be there to assist with that as well.
Right, and that's one of the things when the name change came, is that she added on as her extra service and was able to do, that she was very, very excited about, was being able to refer people also to a cochlear implant clinic where they could actually have the surgery and all that kind of stuff. So that's a wonderful thing. And if people have been considering it, she can test you for it.
Yes.
And you can come here and talk to her and think about it. There's all different ways that they can help you when it comes to hearing loss here at Ohio Audiology Associates.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't think that, I don't think a hearing aid's what I want or what's going to help me. You just need to come and take a minute or an hour, and just get the testing done. I mean, it can't hurt you.
And I don't think the people who, I know I talked to someone this week already that said they didn't hear something, and I said, you need to get your hearing tested. And he kind of blew it off. But he doesn't realize the impact that his inability to hear impacts the people around him.
Yeah.
And that is so important because, as we talked earlier, it can be frustrating. It can cause you to get upset. How many times you're going to repeat the same sentence. And as I said earlier, I've had to learn to slow down when I'm talking. But I also realize how having other people slow down to talk to me has helped me as well since I've got my hearing aids.
And if you're watching a television program or something with someone and they're saying, what did he say? What did he say? And then you answer them. You miss what comes up
the
next
thing. Absolutely.
Yes. So it's like,
absolutely.
Yeah, and that's kind of the frustration that we talk about. So we want to, you just want to make sure that, everybody's taken care of, and nobody, that wants to be grumpy or any of those things.
Right. And, a lot of people are concerned about appearances. Mm-hmm. And from my perspective, if my hearing aids help me, then how my hearing aids look is not that important.
That's right.
And the cochlear implant that my husband has, there is an implanted device through the surgery, and he has a magnet that literally attaches to his skull right above his ear. And we were sitting in church one night, and he leaned back against a whiteboard, and when he pulled forward, his hearing aid was attached. His processor was still attached to the whiteboard. So it's just been a funny joke, but, it doesn't bother him at all that he has that he has to wear that device, because he realizes how much it helps him.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing, somebody has a brace on their legs, they can walk or not walk.
Exactly.
That's just the way that goes. And honestly, if there are hearing aids that are so small You don't even see them. You have your hair over your ears. I had no idea. No idea.
Well, and I ran into somebody recently that I did not realize had hearing aids until she turned at a certain angle. And then I saw the little
like wire
to pull it out. But yeah, and like I said, to me, the appearance is not nearly as important as the help that the device provides.
Well, a lot of good advice, and you've been through it. You're here working now, so that's a wonderful thing. When people call in, they can, you have a way of being able to talk to people because you know what they're going through. So that's that's a good thing.
And I have found that to be helpful. There's been a couple of times when I've taken calls and related to something the person said, and then I told them a little bit about my experience, and it helped to establish a rapport with that person as well as let them know that they're not the only one in that situation.
Yeah, and that's a trust factor too, so that's good. All right, we are going to take a break for the news right now. Thank you, Mary, so much for stopping by and talking with us today.
Thank you.
Ohio Audiology Associates, that's where we are, in North Canton on Frank Avenue Northwest. And you can stop by and say hello. And we'll be back after the news. We're going to talk a little bit more about what they do here. And obviously, it's a lot. They have so much going on. We're going to talk to Jim again and also to Kelly. So many things that they are doing. Jim is proficient in the latest technology. And Kelly Overcasher, Dr. Kelly Overcasher, the owner of Ohio Audiology Associates. We are live from North Canton on Frank Avenue Northwest on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Verndale Water Experts have been a locally owned and family-operated business for over 65 years. For all of your water treatment needs, call the name you can trust. Call Verndale Water Experts.
Tap into Verndale's Water Center.
WHBC AM Canton, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, an Amish teenager has been killed after an accident in Marion County north of Columbus. Highway Patrol says a 14-year-old boy died after his horse-drawn carriage hit a train. It happened just before 5 last night on a county road. Troopers say Edward Gender lost control of the buggy. He died at the scene. The first-named storm of the 2024 hurricane season made landfall in Mexico as forecast, bringing torrential rain both there and in Texas. Governor of Texas issued a disaster declaration for 51 counties before Tropical Storm Alberto made landfall, and over 100 personnel from the Texas A&M Forest Service and National Guard were activated and ready to help where needed. 4 deaths in Mexico blamed on the storm, with 3 of them dying from electric shocks. When it comes to flaws in coffee mugs, this is a big one. Joy Jolt branded Dakeland single wall glass coffee mugs being recalled across the U.S. because they can crack or break when you put hot liquid in them, like coffee. The mugs were sold through the company's website and on Amazon from September of 2019 through May of 2022. In sports, the Cleveland Guardians got the bats rolling again yesterday. They beat Seattle 6-3 to take the series. Guardians host the Blue Jays tonight, 7:10, first pitch, right here on 1480 WHBC. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. A heat advisory through Saturday. Partly sunny, hot this afternoon. Thunderstorm. Could get some wind and hail today. The high 91. Thunderstorm early this evening. Otherwise clearing tonight. Low 71. Sunny, hot, and humid tomorrow. The high at 92. Clouds and sun. Breezy, humid, a gusty thunderstorm on Sunday. High Sunday at 81. Get your weather news anytime you want it at AccuWeather.com. I'm Steve Williams for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Hi, this is Jim Snyder of the Your Wealth, Your Retirement program, a financial education show for those seeking guidance. Are you retiring soon? Are you in the middle of changing jobs? Maybe you're just done with all of that risk in the 401k plan and you'd like to have a discussion about an early rollout. Maybe you're 70 and a half and you're in your income phase of your IRA. We can help you with all those. Give us a call at Senior Financial Group at 800-639-0824. That's 800-639-0824.
Your 5 locally owned and operated Save-A-Lot stores will save you lots of money on your next grocery list. And while you're there, pick up the 2024 Source Book, loaded with info, numbers, and dates, plus your entry to win $1,000. Supplies are limited. The Source Book now at Save-A-Lot.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give my Lowe's Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not a My Lowe's Rewards member? Join for free today.
1480 WHBC has always been there for you.
We here at 1480 WHBC continue that work.
On your home of local news.
All right, we are back. It is our healthcare week and our final 2 segments coming up. And again, we are broadcasting from Ohio Audiology Associates, Frank Avenue Northwest in North Canton. They also have a location in Hartville as well. And we're bringing back Jim Boyd, who is Territory Sales Manager for GN Resound. And he's the guy with all the technology. He's the guy carrying around the little mini hearing aids that you can't barely even see. Aren't you? You're that man.
I am that guy.
You are that guy. All right. So what is the latest in hearing technology? Tell us about that.
Well, in the last segment, we talked about when I started in the business, hearing aids were essentially amplifiers. So
Mhm.
there was a volume control that you turned up if you wanted to hear something, or you turned it down. Problem was, it would bring in all the noise that you don't want to hear, and when you turned it down, you couldn't hear anything. So over time, there's been a lot of changes, and probably the 2 biggest ones when we do our market track surveys with hearing impaired patients, the biggest issues are they struggle to hear their family for family gatherings, and when they go into restaurants and group situations, they can't understand because of the background noise. Those are the 2 biggest complaints. We never have anybody come in and say, well, I can't hear in quiet. Hearing aids do a great job in quiet. So the advancements of technology, there's 2 really big ones. One is the improvement of speech understanding in the presence of background noise. So our new technology, Nexia, which is very tiny, I have it in my ear.
And you would never know.
And you can't see it. So what that does is it's programmed for the patient's specific hearing loss. As they go from environment to environment, it's constantly monitoring the environment and making adjustments. So if they walk into a noisy restaurant where someone would typically struggle, it will reduce the background noise and raise the speech a couple decibels above the noise so they can understand. So the idea is that you can go into a noisy situation, be sitting with a group of people, converse with the people in front of you, beside you, and if someone like the waiter walks up from behind and says, without even looking at them, would you like another glass of iced tea, you'll be able to understand them.
Okay.
As you walk out of that noisy environment, it's going to recognize, okay, you're in quiet, or maybe there's a little wind noise. It'll reduce the wind noise and just adjust based on the environment that you're in. The other big advancement in this technology is Bluetooth has been great for hearing aids. Hearing aids with iPhones and Android phones, you can stream in conversations, you can listen to music. The problem is it really drains the battery. So there's a new Auracast, Bluetooth Auracast that's going to change all that, and it's actually starting to come out now. If you go to some of your electronic stores, you'll see the Auracast symbol. And essentially what that is, it's going to be the next generation of Bluetooth. And our Nexia technology is the first one in the market to be able to use that technology. So what does that mean? So if you go to a church or you go to the airport or a train station, anywhere there's a broadcast, very similar to pulling up a Wi-Fi signal when you go into a different venue, you can pull up the Auracast symbol, and if you're wearing hearing aids, and eventually it'll be in all different devices. That broadcast, let's say you're in church and you're listening to the sermon, will be streamed directly into your hearing aids.
Oh my gosh.
So
wow.
It's amazing. And
Yeah.
people struggle in those venues, people with normal hearing.
Yes, absolutely.
Struggle in those environments. So if you go to the airport, imagine this, you're going through security, you get out of security, you pull up your gate, you click on gate C45, all the broadcasts from C45 will stream into your hearing aids or your devices, no matter where you are in the airport. So this is available now in our Nexia technology. So it's a game changer, and it's going to be the standard in the next 30 years. It's wonderful.
And when I first got here, we were talking about iPhones versus Androids. So we Android people, are we being left out of all of this?
No, actually, Android's first to the market with this. So
yay!
Yeah. I'm sure iPhone in their next release will.
Yeah.
And the Americans with Disabilities Act provides for hearing impaired, patients too. So people need to advocate for themselves. So these facilities should have this technology, so people that are hearing impaired can benefit from those broadcasts. It's wonderful.
Every time we talk about things like this, there seems to be something new. It's changing so quickly.
It really does, and all the manufacturers do a great job. They really do. 30 years from now, if someone was fit with a hearing aid, there's chances that they wouldn't like it. But now, people really love the technology because they do so well. It's small. You can't even see this on my ear.
Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's
it's wonderful.
So when people are going to purchase a hearing aid, what kinds of things should they be asking about?
After a full evaluation and talking with your hearing health care provider, the two things that I think are really important is this technology clinically proven to improve speech and noise? Are there studies that show that people do better with this hearing aid and background noise? Because that's really one of the biggest issues. And then the other thing, and this is a new question I would ask, is are my hearing aids Auracast enabled? And basically what that means is, are they future-proof? Right? Now, this Auracast technology is not everywhere now, but by 2027, there's going to be 3 billion devices in clinics that will have this. So you have your hearing aids for 3 to 5 years, right? So you want to be able to tap into that because, you want to be able to use that technology. Right. So those are two questions that I know personally I would definitely ask if I was going in to get hearing instruments.
Is there anything out there in space that you see coming that we may be interested in? Anything they're working on?
I can't talk to you about that.
Then you'd have to kill me, right?
Right. I was going to say that, but I figure I'd let you say that. Yeah. No, we're always working on new technology, and hearing impairment is growing. It's really a condition of age, and we're all living longer. So there's a lot of people with hearing loss, and one of the things that we're seeing too is younger people are developing hearing loss.
Right. Yeah. Well, and why is that? I mean, we're seeing that happen quite frequently.
Have you ever walked by a teenager that has earbuds in and you can hear their music?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's destroying their hearing, and they're at a tender age where they're learning and they're not able to understand, and it's a problem. So,
yeah, they're all wearing headphones. They are.
Yeah, all wearing headphones and listening to music too loud. And once you destroy those hair cells on your nerves, they don't grow back.
Yeah.
And
gosh, I never even really thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you had mentioned, I want you to tell the story about your dad again. We talked about this in last hour in case folks are just tuning in right now, because, I think this is an important part of why, most people go through this too.
Yeah, it's really a family issue. A lot of times, the patient will come in with their wife or their children, and because they know that sometimes the person that's hearing impaired is the last one to really realize they have a problem, but they know that they're suffering. And, my dad, I would call him and talk to him, and he just wasn't understanding what I was saying. And, that prompted me to talk to his wife to get his hearing tested. And, he stopped doing the things that he enjoyed. And we fit him with technology, which was probably the best technology in 1996. And it helped him a lot. Within a couple weeks, he was out going to dinner again. He was enjoying his life. And the real issue was he could not hear. He could not understand. And as human beings, we're social.
Yeah.
We like to do things, and we need to be doing things and converse with other people. Otherwise, we start to decline.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is some great information, and I always love hearing about the new technology. And that's good for people who are just thinking about this and have questions, but I appreciate you coming and sitting down with us.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
No problem. I love it. All right, we're going to take our final break. This is it, and when we come back, Kelly Overcasher, Dr. Kelly Overcasher, the owner of Ohio Audiology Associates, she will join us, and we'll wrap things up this morning and finish up our Healthcare Week on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is Medishare. Maybe you've heard switching to Medishare to pay for health care can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for Medishare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medishare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by Abbott.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS has raised the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes in recent years. This hits hard if you're behind on your taxes. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. If you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optimus Tax Professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Love the show. Thank God for radio. I don't know where we'd be without it.
Oh, yeah, listen to you daily. Your station is so informative.
News Talk 1480 WHBC.
By the way, it is our final segment today. This has gone fast, Kelly Overcasher.
It has.
I can't believe it.
It's wonderful.
I know. We've had so much great information with Dr. Megan Annis, Jim Boyd, Mary Sanders. Everybody has shared a lot of really great things, and you, of course. And I will remind everyone, Dr. Kelly Overcasher and Dr. Megan Annis, both doctors of audiology. They're not, hearing aid salespeople. Not that that's a bad thing, but that's not what you guys do, and you have that special thing, and it's important.
Yes.
Very important.
Yeah.
All right. So we were going to talk about third-party discount plans. Tell me what that is.
Yeah. So a lot of the Medicare Advantage plans that I kind of talked about at our first segment, they will offer to their members what they'll say is hearing care or hearing aids. They offer it along with maybe a dental or vision or whatever. They kind of throw it in there. And so when they're communicating with the members about this information, they will say that you have your benefit through another company. And the companies are called, in our industry, third-party TPAs, third-party administrators. And basically what they are is a middleman that sells you the hearing aids. They contract with us to just fit the hearing aids. So the member is buying the hearing aids from that third-party administrator that is contracted with your insurance plan.
Okay.
So a lot of people think that they're going to get the same, say, level of care or the same benefits through these kind of things, and they don't necessarily.
Okay.
The third parties basically, like I say, sell the hearing aid to the member. We fit the hearing aids. The third party will say, or the insurance will say, well, you get a year of services, or you get this or that. Well, it's a limited service because it's what gets paid for.
Right.
Essentially.
And there's that they put limitations on it, obviously.
Well, yeah, they give us guidelines, but they also, you may not get always compensated for some of the things that you need to do.
Okay.
So in some respects it's good, and in other respects maybe it's not, because you may not get the technology under that insurance plan that the patient needs.
Right.
And they also tend to market heavy the low cost options because it's enticing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the $399, $699 a hearing aid. Well, those are a lower technology, which for certain patients may work really well, but for other patients that have difficulty in noise, those levels of technology may not have the ability to reduce that background noise or function when voice is at a greater distance from the listener.
Right.
Things like that. So it is a marketing thing.
Yeah,
And,
definitely.
Yeah.
Because honestly, we all know that hearing aids in this day and age are something that people think about so much and want and are worried about paying for. And so they see something like this, and that attracts them.
Correct.
Immediately they hear hearing aids paid for.
Correct.
I want that.
Right.
And so it can be a little misleading to them.
Right. Now, there are some plans that are called funded plans where the insurance company is actually kicking in funds to provide a true benefit for that patient. But there's also a lot of plans out there that are non-funded, meaning the insurance company is not kicking in any money. The patient is buying the hearing aids basically alone.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So there is a lot of discrepancy. Patients will come in and say, well, why don't you know what my insurance is going to cover? Because each plan is different, each company is different, and there's so much differences.
Yeah. So you have to figure it out and ask.
Right.
Yeah.
And there is also a push with Medicare to kind of eliminate this use of the word benefit, because it is confusing to patients thinking that a benefit, like typical regular medical, I have a benefit of this amount of money. And when they throw the benefit into the hearing aid world, it doesn't mean the same thing.
Right.
So there is a push to really stop this use of word benefit when it's not truly what is perceived to be.
Right, what you believe it to be. So
Yeah.
the advice would be ask questions before
Correct.
you do that. Because if you are picking that plan because it has the hearing aid benefit,
Right.
then you definitely need to ask some questions and find out. Dig a little deeper before you go ahead and do it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there is also where a lot of the providers in the area, unfortunately, are not contracting with these third-party administrators. So a member may pick a particular plan, like you say, because they think they've got this benefit. Well, then when they actually go out and they try to find somebody that is credentialed or in that plan, they may not find it.
Yeah, and they won't honor it. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to give them the phone number, 330-494-8348. That's the number to call if you have questions or you want to make an appointment, and you can do that. You can also do it on the website, which it's ascentoh.com. And if you type in Ohio Audiology Associates into Google, it'll take you right to the website.
Correct.
It's very easy. They have two locations. You have this one on Frank Avenue, North Canton, and also one in Hartville, right?
Yep. Yep.
So you can, and if you go onto the website, you can actually even make an appointment there, right?
No.
Oh, you can't.
No.
That was the old website. You could.
Yeah, that was
schedule.
the old one.
Okay.
Yes, we have some flexibility where we might be at the Hartville office of various days during the week, and we do that to allow flexibility for our patients up there. So some patients don't want to have their appointment on Wednesday because they want to go to the Hartville kitchen. So yeah, so they come to us and they go to the Hartville kitchen and have lunch. So we might schedule one week where it's a Tuesday we're there, but maybe another week it's a Wednesday. So our offices are pretty well appointment only.
Okay.
Because we want that flexibility. And it's also Dr. Annis and myself, so we each are really closely involved with all of the patients so that they'll see me or they'll say Dr. Annis or, whatever. So they're familiar with both of us.
All right. So we will, we hope that you'll stop in, make an appointment, give them a call. And it's a great place. These are wonderful ladies, and they do a wonderful job. If you want to trust anyone, these are the people to do it. Ohio Audiology Associates. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you.
All right.